Welcome back. There's a live look at the Oregon coast from Lincoln City, our In It Spanish Head Resort Hotel camera. Thanks for watching Afternoon Live. We all know parenting is not easy, and if you have a child with ADHD, you may face some different challenges. Here with advice to help both you and your child, we welcome back ADHD coach Sheila Henson. Great to see you again.
You too.
Okay, so let's talk about our responsibility as parents. We have to educate ourselves and learn about ADHD brains and executive dysfunction before we even kind of tackle other things.
100%. I think that that's actually the most important thing when someone says, oh, how can I help my kid with ADHD? I'm like, first just learn about the ADHD brain, learn about executive functioning and executive dysfunctioning, because that'll tell you, A, that this is not something that the kid's doing out of defiance or laziness or just trying to be a jerk, right? The kid is actually like struggling with an ability. You know, ADHD is a recognized disability, and that can be confusing because often we have a lot of abilities in other areas, but then the simple things is what's hard. And so that can make parents frustrated and angry. So just understanding what's going on can then give you context to find the solutions that actually work.
Do you experience parents having an aha moment of, oh my gosh, I just didn't understand how different our brains really are, because just having that kind of common ground to begin with?
Yes, every day. And a lot of parents of ADHD kids, ADHD is highly genetic. So what they'll end up finding out is, oh, that's actually how I work too, but no one's given me that allowance. No one ever told me, no one ever worked with me. So I was just doing what my parents did, and they were doing what their parents did, and we never like looked for a better way because no one told us there was a better way.
And they're probably exhausted themselves,
so exhausted,
overcompensating and navigating things in their own way. So it's a great place to start. Okay, how about giving lots of praise and letting the small things go? I mean, that's true for any young kid.
100%. I think it's important for every kid, and ADHDers tend to face 20,000 more negative comments by age 12 than a non-ADHD kid, or a neurotypical kid at least. And so they're getting so much negativity, and the adults I work with are still working out the shame and, you know, self-esteem issues from being a child who was just constantly corrected. So just the things that we can let slide, it's good to let slide. And ADHDers love praise. Like, we just love to please others, and we love to do a good job, and especially when that can be so hard for us to do a good job. Just having someone recognize the effort, recognize the little things that we do can go a long way to motivate us to do more things, because motivation's a big problem with ADHD.
Absolutely. Okay, how about asking questions about why kids may be struggling, and then you have to be open to the answers, because you might be surprised.
Yeah, I think that that's a big thing, and a lot of the time the kids don't know why they're struggling, and then they'll end up lying. So I know when I was a kid, you know, someone would say, oh, why didn't you do your homework? And I might say, oh, I lost it, or I forgot. But actually, I was just staring at it for an hour and couldn't get myself to start. But I couldn't say, well, actually, my executive functioning isn't working, and I'm having task initiation problems. I didn't have that language. And so just talking the kid through, like, what did it feel like in your body? What did it feel like when you weren't able to do your homework? And being okay with whatever answers come up, even if that's, I don't know, you know?
Sure, you got to give them a minute to figure it out for themselves too. Okay, how about being super specific, explicit instructions, and use visuals whenever you can?
Yeah, I mean, with ADHD, we struggle with working memory. So you have noticed, if you have an ADHD kid, that you've given them an instruction, 10 seconds later they've forgotten it, you have to give it over and over and over again. So if instead you can just have a visual, then you don't have to be annoying, you know, and you don't have to be annoyed. And so that can be a lot easier. And and the explicit instructions, sometimes we might think that something is obvious or common sense, but for an ADHDer, it's not. Like, we need explicit instructions on how to clean a room. You know, first pick up the trash, then let's do the, you know, the clothing, etc. Things like that you might think, oh, they're just being lazy, or they're just trying to get out of it, but actually they really do need more explicit instruction on basic things.
Do you have any helpful visual tools that you've used that kids have responded to, or you know, that have worked successfully?
One thing that I love is, especially families with older kids, is to just have a whiteboard that has, you know, the parents can write the things that they need the kid to do. Hey, remember to take out the trash, remember to, you know, get your cleats, you know, by the door, and that's just there. And then the kid just has to learn to remember one thing, and that's to check the board.
Perfect.
So instead of having to remember to, you know, remember everything, just remember to check the board.
And checking off that list when you get it done is so satisfying.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, how about teach instead of punish? even if your intentions are good, sometimes as parents we tend to just be hard on our kids.
Absolutely, and I think it's totally normal that we're just doing what we see on TV, what we've seen from our
Yeah.
parents, you know, it's instinctual. But actually, a lot of the time with ADHD, punishment isn't actually going to help in the long term. So even if you have a kid that punishment does help in the short term, which lucky you, because some kids it won't, but if you do, that doesn't mean that they're actually learning the skills to be able to do this as an adult. And this is why I'm teaching adults how to do laundry and, you know, get work done, because they never learned these basic skills
Sure.
because they were just sort of punished into it. So getting them to have intrinsic motivation, which studies have shown too much reward and punishment actually kills intrinsic motivation.
Okay.
So we want to teach them to make things, what motivates ADHD brains is things being interesting, fun, novel, like something new, and like little challenges. And so if we can turn a task into something fun, Mary Poppins it, you know, spoonful of sugar it, then it'll be easier for them to do it. So like if you just put an audiobook on and have some snacks while you're cleaning your room is going to be a lot easier.
Yeah, that works for me too.
Yeah.
I like to listen to a podcast while I do the dishes. We all like to have a little mental break while you're doing your chores. Thank you so much. It was great seeing you again.
You too.
Great tips. We'll have more information on our website, and we'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.